Fox Sports.
Last night, Josh Johnson was his old bad self. But the Rangers' C.J. Wilson was matching him pitch for pitch until the sixth. And he gets into that one, center field and deep. Back goes Bourbeau, looking at gone! Two-run shot! Hanley Ramirez. So 2-1 Marlins. It's all good. Not so fast. The Marlins still needed one stinking out. Drives it to left center. That ball is deep. Ross after it. It's off the wall. And it caroms out to center field. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. And Matt Trainer comes back to South Florida to haunt his old team. And that was the ball game. That was game 1. Tonight is game 2. Record heats in South Florida. Sun Life Stadium warm tonight. No sign of rain. Marlins, Rangers ready to go. The Rangers right now have a 2-game lead in the American League West. The Fish have fallen 2 under the 500 mark. This would be game 2. This would be a nice night to bounce back. Anibal Sanchez will go up against those hot Texas Ranger bats. Mike Stanton's second game here at Sun Life Stadium. Marlins and Rangers. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. They say to play in the big league, you have to have skills, both mental and physical. One of those skills, Tommy, is a short memory. The Marlins need that tonight to bounce back.
What? I have a short memory. I've been in this game way too long.
All right, that's a good place to start. So let me remind you how good these Texas Rangers are, because the Rangers now have a 2-game lead in the American League West. They're sneaking up on a lot of people. They can obviously hit the ball. They got some good starting pitching as well.
Look at what they've done the last 50 games. I think just the Red Sox have a better record during that same amount of time. They've scored a lot of runs. I don't think anybody is questioning their offense. Everyone knew of guys like Vladimir Guerrero, Michael Young, Josh Hamilton. Hamilton with an 11-game hitting streak. The only good news tonight is Guerrero's not in the lineup. Normally he's their DH. He played right field last night. He'll probably be back in there in right field tomorrow night. But he's not in tonight. And that guy Michael Young, he's going after a franchise record in hits.
JJ and CJ, it was an outstanding night for pitchers last night. The guy that has kind of played the understudy to JJ is Anibal Sanchez. He hasn't had JJ's type numbers, but he's come close. He has had a very nice ride for the last month and a half.
He's done something that really, you think about it, he hasn't done since his rookie season of 2006. Remember, he was 10-3 that year. But Sanchi has been consistent, coming off a nice win against Tampa Bay. He went 7 innings in that game. Yeah, he gave up 4 runs. It wasn't what they call a quality start, but in my mind it was quality because he got the win. Tommy Hunter, a right-hander, goes for Texas. He started 6 games in AAA before getting a couple of starts here. This will be his 3rd start. He began the season on the DL with an oblique strain.
He's huge, 6'3", 280 pounds. The big right-hander will take aim at the Marlins tonight. Marlins, Rangers. When we get back, take a look back at Mike Stanton's night last night and his season so far with Craig Minervini and Jeff Conine.
game 2 of this series. Tommy Hunter and Anibal Sanchez are ready to duel as Billy the Marlin goes to work here on a warm South Florida night. We welcome you back with Jeff Conan and Craig Benervini. And the last night was Mike Stan's home debut. It didn't go, maybe wrote it down before the game, but it's been a good first week for Mike Stan. 6 games for Stan in there so far. He's still over 300, yet to hit his first home run. He showed some nice poise at the plate, though, and we saw that early on the road.
Yeah, you expect him to come up, and he hit 21 home runs in Double-A baseball this year, so everyone's probably expecting him to come up and already show the big power that he showed so far in the minor leagues. But I think more impressive to me is what he's done with the pitches he's been given to hit. I talked to Dan Ugly yesterday, and he said, what he's done so far is he hasn't really been given much to hit inside inner third of the plate.
No.
They're not challenging him. So what he's been doing, they've thrown a bunch of junk away, and he's been taking it to right field, which is a very good sign for a young hitter that's probably pumped up, ready to go, and excited, eager, wants to drive the ball to the ballpark, but he's taking his hits to right field.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, as Mike told us, he's been surprisingly, even in his own words, very comfortable here in his debut.
Well, I definitely thought I'd be a little more nervous, in the first week and first game and whatnot, but the guys have made me feel real comfortable, and I'm doing everything I can to make myself comfortable. So it's been fun. It's been a good time, and hopefully keep going.
Our Geico quote of the day: are you surprised at the overwhelming respect, really, he's been shown by pitchers who kind of refused to challenge him with a fastball middle in yet? We haven't seen much of that. Up high, yes, but not middle in.
Well, Matt Trainer, spoke about the advanced scouts they have nowadays, and they're scouting this guy for a while because they knew his come-up date was going to be June 8th, and they were going to be ready for him. So they know what he's capable of. They know how far he can hit the ball, and why challenge a guy that that's his strength. So they're going to go away from him, make him frustrated, and we'll see how he handles that and how he responds when they continue to do that.
All right, he's hit a couple in the upper deck in BP, and we're still waiting for that great moment when he hits number 1. Maybe it'll be tonight. We'll see against the Texas Rangers. Anibal Sanchez will tow the slab for Florida, going after his 6th win in 7 starts. He'll face Tommy Hunter. Rich Walton, Tommy Hutton will have the call.
Sanchez ready to go. Elvis Andrus is in the box, and here we go tonight. Game 2 of this 3-game series. First pitch, Dale Scott says, is strike 1. Andrus leads it off for the Rangers with Michael Young, Ian Kinsler to follow. We'll give you that lineup in a moment. Breaking ball from Sanchez. He's right out in front, 0-2.
Good to see Sanchi right after Andrus, the leadoff hitter, with a couple of strikes, a couple of quick strikes.
Andrus last night was 1 for 3 with a stolen base. Breaking ball, ground ball. Hanley approaches, has it, flips to first in time. Here are the Texas Rangers, winners of 6 of 7 and 3 in a row, first place in the American League West. Actually, that would be the Marlins lineup. Chris Coghlan, Gabby Sanchez, Hanley Ramirez, Jorge Cantu, Dan Ugla, Cody Ross, Mike Stanton, Ronnie Polino, and Anibal Sanchez if you're scoring with us at home. Every now and then, even we miss a cutoff man. Sanchez at 6 and 3 with a 3.36 ERA, and here's Young. He takes a fastball at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Mighty Michael Young, having one of those seasons that he's been known for. Lots of hits, lots of RBIs. Drives it to right field. Stanton turns, settles, and makes the catch. Now, ladies and gentlemen, may we present the Texas Rangers. You've seen Elvis and Michael. Ian Kinsler's coming up. Josh Hamilton, a dangerous bat. David Murphy's in right. No Vladdy Guerrero in this one. Justin Smoke at first. There's that guy, Matt Trainer. He stole the show last night. Julio Borbon is in center field. Tommy Hunter in the 9 spot.
Yeah, manager Ron Washington gets Vladimir Guerrero out of there. He really doesn't want to get him out there 3 nights in a row in the field, and it also gives David Murphy a chance to start and get some at-bats. All strikes so far for Sanchi.
Buries a nice breaking ball there to Kinsler. Kinsler, who had a monster year last year, hit 31 home runs last year. You can see his power numbers down this year. And Sanchez breaking ball really working. Counts 0-2. And he bounces that one in the dirt. Kinsler, a high energy guy from Tucson, Arizona. Started his career at Arizona State and then went to Missouri. So he played in the Pac-10 that's about to become the Pac-12, and then he went to the Big 12 that's about to become the Big 10.
Would you say an Ian Kinsler is in the same realm as a Dustin Pedroia? A couple of high energy guys. Pedroia might be a little more consistent with power.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think the Rangers expect power out of Kinsler, just haven't had it this year. Breaking ball is up and in. That's a good analogy. Although Pedroia, of course, much better known because he plays for a team that's won a world championship. He certainly helped him get there. Kinsler in his 5th year in the big leagues. And that one is fouled back. This is a very talented and dangerous lineup that the Rangers run out there. And he's not even in there tonight, Vladimir Guerrero. They're also missing Nelson Cruz, who's driven in 34 runs and is hitting .327.
I think you've seen a lot of this last night and tonight already. Josh Johnson had it happen to him. You'd get ahead, and Ranger hitters would foul pitches off. And so Kinsler battling Anibal Sanchez here.
There's Ron Washington. Sanchez thought he had the strikeout. You saw him walk off the mound. Dale Scott said none of that. And you see Fox Tracks had pitch 8 outside. Brought to you by Toyota. That one brought to you by Ian Kinsler into center field. That's a terrific at bat by the Rangers second baseman.
Yeah, the defense sets up tonight. If you've been following us the last few games, everything's the same with that outfield. Jorge Cantu and Gabby Sanchez at the corners. Ronnie Paulino behind the plate. It's kind of what happened last night. Remember, Josh Johnson retired the first 2 hitters, and then Kinsler, Guerrero, and Hamilton all singled, producing the only run of the game at that time.
Sanchez throws it off the glove of Gabby Sanchez. Kinsler will stop at second. And right now it's an E1, but it looked like it hit off of Gabby's glove. So we'll take a look at it on replay. Anibal is probably the Marlins' best starter at keeping runners close.
He's quick to first. He's a little quicker to the plate than most of the other starters.
So now that Kinsler is in scoring position, Josh Hamilton waiting his first pitch of the night. Shoots a ground ball down the line. Diving stop by Cantu. He's got no play. But just getting the ball and keeping it on the infield keeps Kinsler at third.
That's a great play by Jorge Cantu. He knew the situation. He knew the runner was at second base. And if that ball squibs by him, Hamilton has a double and the Rangers have a run. So it's got terrific spin because of the way it was hit. Jorge well off the line. Just goes all out to dive, and he's just trying to knock it down. He ended up catching it, but he was just trying to knock it down.
See Dave Anderson, the third base coach of the Rangers.
And Hamilton extends his hitting streak now to 12 games.
There were a few Rangers that had their hitting streak snapped last night. Here's Murphy. We didn't really get a look at him much last night. Left-handed bat usually starts out in right field, especially against righties. All-American out of Baylor University. And a former Boston Red Sox. First-round pick by Boston back in '03.
And we saw Murphy in a pinch hit role last night, hit a ball to first base. That was a good play by Jorge Cantu at the time.
That was a tricky hop. Sanchez gets a strike. It's 2-1. You made the comparison to the first inning last night, and now it really is starting to look like that first inning, where J.J. got the first 2 outs and then 3 consecutive hits. Sanchez trying to avoid that third consecutive hit and keep Texas off the board.
And also that first inning extended Josh. He had to throw a lot of pitches, and all of a sudden what looked like could have been a quick inning, a low pitch inning for Anibal Sanchez. He's up to 19 pitches.
He's thrown a lot of strikes, that's for sure. 14 of his 20 pitches have been strikes.
Yeah, Kinsler himself had a 9-pitch at bat.
On the 3-2, in the hole, tough play, no play. And the Rangers, just like last night, get 3 consecutive hits and are on the board first. Only one of these hits has left the infield.
Well, I think it just goes to show when you put the ball in play, if you strike out, stuff like this doesn't happen. But right there, Murphy just trying to make contact. Hanley with a little move to cover second, but wouldn't have mattered. That was an infield hit all the way.
Now Smoke, the switch hitter. Justin Smoke, just 23. One of the Rangers' top picks. 11th overall in the first round out of the University of South Carolina. Has been on the fast track to the big leagues. Got Hamilton out at second. Murphy's at first. The Rangers usually do it with a little more volume, a little more pop. But right now they are nibbling Anibal Sanchez to death. Ron Washington, a former big leaguer himself, a shortstop. Ron Washington, one of the guys that was signed out of the Royals Baseball Academy. The Kansas City Royals in the early 70s started a baseball academy. I believe it was down here in Florida somewhere.
Yeah, he was an infielder with Minnesota, L.A., Baltimore, Cleveland, a little bit with Houston.
Breaking ball gets him. Rangers get a run on 3 hits, 2 of them of the infield variety. Fish coming up. Checkers, little place, big taste by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com. 1-800-947-AUTO by Southeast Toyota. Toyota, moving forward by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. Now the Marlins. That would be Chris Coghlan leading it off. Gabby Sanchez at first. Hanley's hot right now. A 2-run homer last night. Cantu in the cleanup spot. Ugla 5th. Cody Ross 6th. Mike Stanton hitting 7th. Ronnie Polino 8th. And Anibal Sanchez 9th.
Well, let's see. They list him at 6'3", 280, and that's probably about right for Tommy Hunter. He's a big guy, and we've mentioned he pulled that oblique muscle in spring training about mid-March. So he missed some time early in the year, had some starts in AAA. A lot of cutters. Use that fastball, a curve, a changeup.
Coghlan 0 for 4 last night. His last 2 outs were stung, 1 to left and 1 to center. And that's a strike. It's 1-1. His first 3 at-bats were against the lefty C.J. Wilson, who is one of the toughest on left-handed hitters in all of baseball. And then we saw the toughest to finish the night, and that was Neftali Feliz, the closer of the Rangers.
Saw some pretty good stuff last night. Alexi Ogando, who got his first major league win. C.J. Wilson. And certainly Feliz with his stuff that finished the game.
Feliz worked a 1-2-3 ninth inning. Down goes Coghlan. Went after a high fastball.
And they're still using that scouting report when they get 2 strikes on Chris. Here's the defense for the Rangers with Josh Hamilton, Julio Bourbon, and David Murphy. Michael Young, Elvis Andres on the left side, Ian Kinsler, Justin Smoke, and Matt Trainer. No stranger to this diamond behind the plate.
Here's Gabby now. Goes after the first pitch, pops it up. Smoke. And to avoid the runner, and he makes the play. We are leading up to Father's Day, and of course the home run challenge is still in effect, and this is a home run challenge game. Each home run at $17,000. So far, 55 home runs have been hit in home run challenge games, and we have raised $935,000 for prostate cancer research. You can donate. You saw the number. Here is Hanley. Great description by C.J. Wilson on the pitch that Hanley Ramirez hit. He said he threw a nasty sinker on the outside part, and he said Hanley absolutely murdered it. Not that one, though. Trainer eyes it and makes the catch. Tommy Hunter works a very brief first inning. 1-0 Texas.
disponible en español vía SAP y es presentado por KFC.
Well, alrighty then. Matt Trainer stands in. Julio Borbon, Tommy Hunter will follow. Trainer shortens the bunt and takes a strike. Matt Trainer saw one pitch last night, and he tattooed it off the wall in deep left center field. A pinch hit, two-run triple that certainly turned the game. It was with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. And for Trainer, didn't gloat about it. Reporters obviously asking the question, was it revenge? Did it feel good to stick it to your old team? And Trainer wouldn't go there. He just said, you know, elated is probably the best way to describe how he felt last night.
He probably didn't feel his feet running around to get that triple and the 2 RBIs. Prior to last night, in his career, he had 1 RBI as a pinch hitter. And it was a memorable one.
That one's fouled back.
It was in 04, and it was a pinch hit walk-off single against the White Sox in the 11th inning. Here's last night. Looking fastball, first pitch. It's one thing to get a fastball, but that fastball was right down the middle of the plate. And he took advantage of it.
To understand the emotions that Trainer had last night, you have to know a little bit about Matt and know a little bit about his history. He was originally drafted by the Royals out of high school in Southern California. He spent 11 seasons in the minor leagues before he got a sniff of the big leagues with the Marlins in 2004. Swing and a miss at a good running fastball by Sanchez. Dale Scott telling Matt Trainer that he thought that ball was going to be down. And Julio Borbon now comes to the plate.
Veteran umpire behind the plate, Dale Scott.
A well-liked umpire as well. This is Borbon.
I think the key to that whole inning last night was Nunez issuing the walk to Borbon.
Was not an easy guy to walk. Borbon, right field and deep. Stanton back to the wall. Gone. Wow, did he drop the hammer on that one? Julio Borbon with his first home run of the season.
You know, they had 4 last year and a little over 150 at bats, but he hit this like a guy who hits 30 a year. Fastball, middle in, just drops the head of the bat and smokes it into right center field. And it's something that Anibal Sanchez has not done a lot of, and that is allow home runs. That's only the 3rd home run hit off Sanchez this year.
Tommy Hunter, the Rangers pitcher. And his first at bat in the big leagues. Well, the first inning started out well for Sanchez. He ended up throwing 26 pitches. Tommy Hunter, the man at the plate, escaped the first by throwing 6.
And here's the irony. They each threw 5 pitches to retire the first 2 hitters. And then Hunter got the next hitter on 1 pitch, Hanley Ramirez, and it took Anibal 20 pitches to get that final out of the inning.
Two. Struck him out. So a pair of strikeouts sandwiched around the Borbon home run. Super Saturday coming up. It's this weekend with the Rays in town. Sergio Vargas, Millie Quesada, following a fireworks spectacular presented by the Dominican Republic Ministry of Tourism. 1877 Marlins, 7:10 game time. Marlins and Rays. As we talked about last night, the Marlins are going to get the best of the Rays rotation. Elvis Andrus up right now.
Yeah, the Rays a 10-4 win last night in Atlanta.
Matt Garza, Jeff Neiman, David Price slated to go. Tapper towards Hanley. Borbone goes deep. Rangers have a 2-0 lead. And we head to the bottom of the second. You guys have to be teammates. Reunite 11 years later in Hockeytown. Follow the journey of Catholic Central versus Trenton. Replay the series.com. Just a reminder, go to foxsportsflorida.com. Vote for the Marlins' most memorable moment you'd like to see replayed here on Fox Sports Florida.
These guys are getting into it. Hip, hip, Jorge with Cantu coming up. A little Mexican flavor. And perhaps a margarita to go along with it.
Cantu, Ugla, and Ross. And Hunter misses outside. Like a lot of Marlin hitters last night, Cantu was quiet. His 12-game hitting streak was ended on an 0 for 4. Hunter misses in, and it's 2-0. Marlins had just 3 hits to go with the 2 runs, and obviously both runs came on Hanley's home run. Tommy Hunter is a big man, as you pointed out, 6'3", 280. He grew up in Indianapolis, went to the University of Alabama, was a sandwich pick, appropriately, in 2007. Catches the corner. It's 3-1.
Yeah, he spent a little time in AA and AAA last year, but most of his time had 19 starts with Texas. Was 9-6 last year with the Rangers.
Good rookie year. That's out. Cantu walks. That brings Ugla up. Danny walked a lot last night. He walked 3 times. Says hey to Dale Scott and Matt Trainer.
I think a couple of guys, and we talked about this a little bit, Rich, a couple of guys in Dan Uglin, Cody Ross. Dan at 227 for the month, and Cody hitting 229 for the month of June. A couple of guys the Marlins need to get going.
Ugla takes in. One of the alarming numbers for the Marlins that Tommy Hunter has put up in his 2 previous starts, his only 2 in the big leagues this year. Right-handed hitters against him, 2 for 20 coming in. And now 2 for 22 with whom he's faced tonight.
Yeah, and as we talk so often, the Marlins are right-handed heavy. The only lefty, Chris Cotton. And it's a guy that every once in a while, this is where, you know, people ask you, they ask me, where you think the Marlins would would like to make some additions. To me, I'd like to see another left-handed bat somewhere, because it's a guy that you'd like to put in that left-handed batter too. You know, give somebody a start, give a right-hander a night off.
Unfortunately, a guy that has filled that role for the Marlins for the last year and a half, John Baker, will be out for some time. Baker, after having that forearm elbow examined, sounds like they will shut him down from all activity for about a month. That means he's probably a month and a half or 2 months at the very least from getting back in the lineup. Tommy Hunter has gotten a little wild here. He walked Cantu. He's 3-1 on Ugla. He doesn't have a devastating slider, so why are right-handers having difficulty against him?
That's a good question, because you figure right now he's going to throw that fastball. But yeah, generally a right-hander will have that nasty slider that is tough on righty hitters.
Ugla got the fastball and hit it too hard. It carries all the way out to Hamilton.
Well, that's the kind of swing you like to see. He got that fastball 3-1. He had a good swing. Unfortunately, right to the left fielder.
Here comes Cody now. Speaking of right-handers that are devastating to right-handed hitters, Tim Lincecum today in the Giants' 6-3 win over the Orioles struck out 10 before getting hit in the back of the right shoulder by a line drive. He had to leave after 6 innings. Bruce Bochy said after the game it appeared that Lincecum was okay. But certainly a scary moment for Giant fans. Aubrey Huff went deep again. He and Juan Uribe have been providing a ton of offense.
How about Juan Uribe's been hitting cleanup for the Giants?
Cody swings and misses. There's the changeup from Tommy Hunter. Now he's big, 6'3", 280. But did you know he was a junior Olympic judo champion? Can you imagine going up against Tommy Hunter in junior Olympics?
No, but as I look at him and size-wise, you look back to, I do anyway, and think of a Rick Russell. Big right-hander. Spent time with the Cubs, the Giants.
Cody pulls that in the hole, and out at second is Cantu. It's going to bring up Stanton now with 2 outs. Mike Stanton, you can hear the fans reacting as he comes up. Stanton 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts in game 1. And I think, as you heard Jeff Conine say on Marlins Live, pitchers have not really challenged him. They really haven't come after him with the fastball.
Yeah, there's a slider to start him with. Sooner or later, though, there'll be some sliders and curveballs that are mistakes. Stanton will hit him a long way, and pitchers will have to adjust.
Cody Ross chased back. Stanton has tripled, doubled, singled, and has not homered.
All right, he's seen slider, ball 1. Curveball, ball 2. Does he get the fastball here? I would think so. If he doesn't get a fastball here, that's a tremendous amount of respect for a 20-year-old rookie in his second week in the big leagues.
The trainer went through a whole sequence.
Little cutter. That's a pitch that he uses a lot. You can see that ball right at the end. A little late movement. Took it off the plate.
There's your Fox Tracks brought to you by Toyota. Not even close. Three and 1. There's Ronnie Polino. There will be a time where Mike Stanton will have the green light on 3-0.
I was thinking that.
Fastball. Boy, he got a good one to hit, and he just missed it. Smoke in foul territory, reaches and makes the catch. The Marlins have popped out in foul territory 3 times already. Rangers up 2-0.
Welcome back here to Sun Life Stadium. I'm with Grammy-nominated singer and songwriter Lisa Loeb, who sang the national anthem tonight. But she's not in town just for fun things like the anthem at a baseball game, which, by the way, she's from Dallas, so we know who she's rooting for. You have a big event tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun for people to go out and see Camp Capuana.
Exactly. It's a musical that's opening here in Miami. It's the premiere performance tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock.
And it's at the Arts Center, which is a great place. I think I saw Wicked there recently, and also be in Fort Lauderdale after that. Wicked, yes, at the Epstein Center in Fort Lauderdale in early July. Tell me about where this came from. I know you had an album last year.
Yeah, I had an album called Camp Lisa that I made with my friends Michelle Lewis and Dan Petty. I had wanted to put together a kids record that really reflected all of the fun times I had at summer camp. So there were silly songs and gross out songs and then some new songs we wrote that were, about friendship and leaving and going away to camp and all this. But anyway, I think when people heard it who had gone to summer camp, it reminded them of their summer camp days. It was really for kids, and so kids who had been to summer camp, they loved it. Kids who hadn't been to summer camp, I think it inspired them to want to go to summer camp. But anyway, it inspired the City Theater here to use one of our songs called Best Friend in one of their shorts last year in their theater festival. And that went well, and so they thought, it'd be cool if we made an actual, an entire musical, full-length musical, inspired by summer camp. And so we got together with a playwright and City Theater and my co-writers, and we wrote a musical called Camp Capuana.
So is this more nerve-wracking than the performer for you tomorrow, or not?
Wow, it's totally different. It's really amazing to be able to watch other people sing all of these songs that we wrote and to see them come alive. And it's sort of interesting to see the evolution of a musical. Normally when I'm my own, singer-songwriter, I'm with my band, I have a little bit more control because I'm up there playing or singing.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't have as much control. I don't know. But anyway, it's been really amazing to see other people sing these songs. They really made them come alive in a whole different way.
And it's a camp show. It's, again, Arts Center, which is a great place to see any musical. That runs tomorrow, next week, and then the following week will be at the Epstein Center in Fort Lauderdale, July.
Exactly, and what I think is especially important to mention is that although it's geared towards kids, it's that kind of thing where when you take your kid to go see it, you'll actually enjoy it too. It's not like for little kids. It's fun. It's a good show.
All right, well, we'll look forward to seeing it. Thanks for your time. Great job on the anthem, and good luck with the show.
Thank you very much, and I'm going to go eat my chili cheese fries.
Okay. Camp Capuana. Did you guys go to summer camp like most kids?
No. No summer camp.
I think we were always playing baseball.
That's right. No camp for you.
No camper for you.
Breaking ball in the dirt to Josh Hamilton. Anibal Sanchez here in the third inning, facing Hamilton for the second time. Hamilton hit a little squibber down the third baseline that was one of 2 infield singles in the first inning. That after Kinsler had singled. And Kinsler right now at first base. So the Rangers got their first run, and then an unlikely Julio Bourbon moonshot to right field in the second inning.
Yeah, you expect that kind of shot off the bat of this guy, Josh Hamilton.
Hamilton, an injury-filled year last year, coming off the 2008 All-Star season, and fouls that one back. Last year, he had a rib injury, an abdominal injury, which he had surgery for, lower back injury, and he played in just 89 games. In 2008, he drove in 130 runs and hit 32 home runs.
He had 95 RBIs at the All-Star break in 2008. But I think most people remember the incredible performance he put on at the All-Star game in 08, Yankee Stadium, old Yankee Stadium. He hit 28 home runs in that first round.
He didn't win.
And he didn't win, no. Was it Justin Morneau, I think, won.
That ball's smoked into center field. Kinsler, big turn, and he'll hold on there. So Hamilton has 2 hits. Here comes Murphy now.
Been a struggle so far for Anibal Sanchez. He's not had a 1-2-3 inning. He's given up 5 base hits, and he's thrown over 50 pitches already.
Murphy takes down low. Marlins and Rangers tonight. This is the part of interleague play where you're not quite sure where everybody is. You kind of lose your bearings. There are a few marquee matchups, the Phillies and the Yankees.
The hardest time, Rich, I have during interleague play is to, all right, I want to see the Atlanta Braves score. I have a hard time finding it. You know, you can't just look into the National League. You have to figure out who the Braves are playing.
I'll help you on that one. Atlanta is playing Tampa Bay scoreless in the third inning.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But you get Colorado at Minnesota. Baltimore was at San Francisco. That was a San Francisco win. The Dodgers and Cincinnati are the 2 National League teams playing each other. Runners on the move.
Boy, and thank goodness for that foul ball. Paying no attention to the runners. Anibal Sanchez went to the plate, and the runner at second base, Ian Kinsler, got an unbelievable jump, and he was followed by Hamilton at first. Had that pitch not been fouled off, they both would have been safe.
Murphy fighting that one off. He hit the weak ground ball in the hole at short that drove in that run in the first. You can see the Marlins aren't. It's not just on Sanchez in paying attention to Kinsler. He's got to get some help from his middle infielders.
And in particular, Hanley Ramirez, because with the left-hander up there, Dan Uggla's more away from the bag at second base. So Hanley's a little closer. He can come in behind Kinsler. With that left-hander up there, Dan's got to stay in that area. A little harder for him to jockey back and forth at second base.
Ground ball, bad hop, kicks by Gabby into right field. Stanton has it, fires home, and sliding in is Kinsler. Paulino did not attempt to tag. I think Kinsler was in there, but Stanton made a very strong throw. The Rangers make it 3-0.
Yeah, this ball takes a nasty hop. Has that good top spin. Gabby doesn't come up with it, Mike Stanton does and makes a very impressive throw to the plate.
It's going to be an error. That's a tough error on Gabby Sanchez.
Yeah, it's a frustrating night, and you can see the tone of the game. And we bring this up often. Sanchez is laboring on the mound, so he set a tone. The defense has been sloppy. He made one of the errors. And, you know, in Gabby's defense, this is a tough play. But at least you want to try to maybe knock it down. And the ball gets by him. And he's charged with the error. And I'll be quite honest, I think he could have been charged with the error on the throw to first base that Sanchez was given an error on.
Whether it's an error or a hit, the result is it's 3-0.
Here's that throw earlier from Anibal. It didn't look to be that far away from Gabby.
Sanchez now has to get some outs here. Justin Smoke. I think that last ball has a very good chance of being overturned to a hit. There's a throw. Murphy's back. Sanchez evens the count now 2-2.
How many times already early tonight have we seen so many of the Texas hitters foul pitches off when they get 2 strikes? This is a situation we talked about with Raynel Pinto. Back with the ball club. He'll not be used in matchup situations. He'll be used when Freddie thinks he can get 2, maybe 3 innings out of him.
Runner goes, a strike, and safe at second with a stolen base is Murphy. So strike 3 to Smoke. Holding at third base was Hamilton.
That time a little slower to the plate. We've talked about Anibal being better as far as quickening up his delivery to the plate. That time a little slow, and that allowed Murphy to get a real good jump.
Trainer struck out in his first at bat. Tries to yank a breaking ball, and it's 0-1. Matty, of course, got to the big leagues with the Marlins in 2004, part of the Marlins family in the big leagues for 5 seasons from 2004 through 2008.
And of course we got the opportunity to follow the career of Matt Trainer as well as his wife Misty May.
Broken bat. Ugo races in and makes the catch. Garrett Whittles, one of the great stories in college baseball this year. He will join us in the booth, and we'll talk about that hitting streak. car, truck, or van, who are you going to call? 1-877-MAROONY. By Tobacco-Free Florida, escape the addiction of tobacco. Be free. Visit FloridaQuitline.com. By South Florida Ford, visit SouthFloridaFord.com for great offers. And by Florida Light and Power. To learn smart ways to conserve energy, log on to FPNL.com and take a free online home survey. Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutton, and joining us now from Florida International University, Garrett Whittles. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, we're glad you came. Welcome.
Congratulations not only on the hit streak, but also getting to the NCAA tournament. It obviously is a big thrill for you, the season that you had.
Oh, no, for sure. The biggest thing is that I got a ring. We won the conference championship, and I was able to help my team by getting hits and have this hit streak keep going.
And you've had a busy day. I saw you down at batting practice. You had a chance to meet not only some of the Marlins players, but also some of the Rangers.
Oh, no, for sure. They were so nice to me. It was great to have these big league players come up to me and congratulate me. Guys like Cody Ross and Ian Kinsler, Michael Young. It was just so great to have them come up to me and congratulate me.
Michael Young is probably the guy you're closest to in terms of a hitter. I would expect a line drive guy that's so consistent.
Oh, no, for sure. We both play shortstop. He got moved over to third base. I got moved over to third base. We got a lot in common. I was talking to him about his transition and things that could make me a better hitter and a better fielder. So he was so nice, and it was great to meet him.
Ronnie Paulino takes a fastball for a strike. It's 3-1.
Garrett, looked like, too, you had a nice little rapport with Cody Ross. You look like you talked to him a lot.
Oh, no, for sure. He's kind of good friends with my assistant coach, Sean Allen, and I got a great relationship with Coach Allen. So I just talked a little bit of Cody about that, and Cody was just really down to earth, and he's a great ball player, plays the game really hard.
Hey, at what point, you're at 56 games, right? At what point, like 20, 25, did things start to set in that something was happening?
It was around like 20, 25, 30s when everyone just started really talking about it and saying if I was 0 for 3 or 0 for 4 on a day, they would be like, oh, my God, you got to get a hit, you got to get a hit. So it was around 30 probably.
Now, Ronnie Paulino hit that one on the nose.
By the way, a great scouting report because Josh Hamilton was all the way over in the left center field gap playing Ronnie Paulino, and that's right where he hit the ball.
And so the Marlins have hit 2 balls hard out there to left. Sanchez is up, and then it's up to Chris Coughlin.
Now, Rich, I got another question here for Garrett. From what I understand, you didn't get a haircut all year, right?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Well, now, wait a minute. You're going to go all year until the season starts next year without a haircut?
Honestly, I don't really know yet. I might have to wait until Alaska until I don't get a hit, and then maybe then I might have to cut it. But I was talking to some of the players. Dan Uglo was the one that was laughing about it. He told me not to cut it, so I might have to listen to him. I'm not sure yet.
So Alaska for summer ball.
Yes, sir. I leave on Friday morning. I'm playing with the Peninsula Oilers up there, and I'm just excited to catch some salmon, I guess, and get some more hits and play ball.
Any guys going up there, Any of your teammates?
Oh, yeah, I do. There's a pitcher and a couple hitters, so I'll be able to enjoy that time with them.
Sanchez takes a strike. Do you know who you guys open with next year? Has anyone brought that up yet?
Yeah, we open up with the University of Massachusetts, so we'll be ready to go. A northern team coming down to play us, so hopefully we'll be ready to go and get some hits and win some games.
But I think getting back to what Rich said earlier, you had to be pleased as a team to get to the regional, playing the regional in Miami.
No, for sure. It definitely didn't. The outcome of losing 2 games in the regional definitely isn't what we wanted. But we have a lot of players back. We have 8 out of 9 starters. We're trying to get some good recruits in. Right now on the fence with Andres Perez Lobo is one of our big recruits from South Florida, and hopefully he comes to us and not signs.
Now, in this hitting streak, in the course of it, and Mike Maddox is on his way out to the mound to talk to Tommy Hunter. In the course of the hitting streak, your name was all over the place. The highlights of your at-bats were on nationally. It was fun to watch you around the cage because there were actually players coming up and introducing themselves to you, guys that knew who you were already. Who did you hear from at all in the course of the streak? What's the biggest name or the biggest surprise of someone that contacted you or recognized you or say, attaboy, keep it up?
Today was the first time I've really been in contact with any major leaguers and stuff like that. But Robin Ventura calling me, that was a big deal, especially because it's his record. And it just means a lot that he's pulling for me and wants me to get it done as well.
What was he like? What did he say to you? Any advice?
Yeah, he gave me advice. He told me just to take it one game at a time, which I've really just preached throughout the whole time. So I'm just trying to just go out there and help my team win. And especially late in the year, at any time of the year, all that matters is wins, but especially late in the year in the tournaments and things like that, so you really don't even think about it.
Tommy Hutton, we saw the Rangers manager, Ron Washington, and the trainer out with Tommy Hunter between innings, and he just got a visit from his pitching coach. Here's Chris Coghlan.
Yeah, you have to wonder, and remember, he was injured at the beginning of the year. He spent time on the disabled list with an oblique strain, so you have to wonder if there could be something troubling him, because you don't often see the umpire and the manager go out there as the pitcher takes his warm-up tosses.
As we told you, he's an enormous guy, 6'3", 280. So when he pulls an oblique, he really pulls an oblique. And, you know, maybe the fact that he has been swinging the bat, and his first major league at bat was earlier in the ball game.
He took some pretty good cuts, too. Which brings up a good question for you, Garrett. Did during this time, during your season, because you played every game, was there ever a time you had any minor injuries that you felt like maybe you would have to get out of the lineup?
Oh, no, for sure. There's many times, but the training staff at FIU, Gabe Casanova, does a great job. I had a little ankle, I tweaked my ankle actually in the middle of the year, and I wasn't able to play for 2 games. But they got me back out there, and I was able to help my team again.
Well, it looks like Tommy Hunter is coming out of this ball game. And so the Rangers are going to get a reliever up. Here is a Marooney called to the bullpen.
You need a car, truck or van. Who you gonna call? Marooney!
Was cruising, but apparently his right hip flexor is hurting him. He comes out, and so Matt Harrison, a lefty who has been in the Rangers starting rotation the last 2 years.
Yeah, he's actually had 6 starts this year. So right now, Ron Washington hoping he gets a few innings out of Harrison.
Now, we were talking about Tommy Hunter and the fact that he gets his first major league at bat. You said he took a couple healthy cuts. Here's the last of his healthiest cut. Yeah, strike 3.
When he struck out against Anibal Sanchez, this is no easy swing. And we've been told it's the right hip flexor that has been giving Tommy Hunter some problems. So whether it's the oblique, the hip flexor, something that troubled him, and I would guess it had to do with that swing or the at-bat and the combination of throwing some pitches. So now Ron Washington's going to have to go to his bullpen.
And that changes things, obviously. We told you how tough Hunter has been against right-handed hitters. The Marlins are stacked with right-handed bats. And so it's a lefty in Harrison that comes in. And wouldn't you know, he comes in to face Coghlan, though the count is 3-0. And if he were to walk Coghlan, that walk would go to Hunter. And he does exactly that. So that walk goes to Hunter's line. The Marlins have runners first and second and are showing signs of life here in the third. Here is Gabby Sanchez. Now, Garrett, you as a local kid, certainly I'm sure you have followed the exploits of Gabby Sanchez, first at the University of Miami and now with the Marlins.
No, for sure. I never was able to play against him or anything. He's a little bit older than me, but I definitely saw him play at the University of Miami, and he's a great ball player, great hitter.
Tommy, this is one of those where the Marlin hitters make a beeline for Jim Presley as soon as Harrison walks in out of the bullpen, because their whole scouting report was geared towards Hunter.
Yeah, the luxury you don't have at FIU to go to those scouting reports right away on that other pitcher.
Harrison against Sanchez. Gabby rips it into left field. That's a base hit. Hamilton has it. Remember, it was Anibal Sanchez at second. He's not going to score. But the bags are loaded, and here comes Hanley.
Now the Marlins get their first base hit of the night. Remember, they had just 3 hits last night. This is a solid swing by Gabby Sanchez. Gabby's done a nice job hitting well over 300 against lefties this year.
Did you see that replay? It was Jim Presley stepping out and looking up at the replay board. I'm sure he wanted to see pitch type, speed, movement, all of that. And so here is Hanley, who drove one out of here last night to center field. Bases filled with fish. It's been all Texas so far. And Harrison misses up. 1-0. Harrison out of Durham, North Carolina. Hanley, a chopper out towards second. Kinsler backing up, flips it to first, and gets the out. That ball ate Kinsler up, Tommy, but he made a nice decision to get the out at first. The Marlins cash in a run, but the Rangers get an out.
Yeah, once you saw Kinsler going back on this ball with some real good topspin, initially I think he's, if not thinking about a double play, at least thinking about the out at second. You could almost see him take a little peek at second base. But then he realized once he got into right field, his only play was at first base. He's the kind of guy, Garrett, you like to watch, isn't he? Kinsler.
Yeah, for sure. I wear my pants up just like he does, and he's a ballsy kind of guy.
Is he the type of guy that, I mean, as you watch, as Cantu steps in, guys that you follow in the big leagues, and I think Kinsler and Young are 2 guys that introduce themselves to you?
Yeah, no, for sure. I introduced myself to Kinsler, but Mr. Young came up to me. But no, they're great ball players. I'm an infielder. I play second, short, third, just like they do, and it just means a lot.
Cantu takes outside. There's a look at Ian Kinsler's pants. See what Cantu gets on 2-0. Nothing close. And so Harrison is a pitch away from reloading the bases with Ugla on deck.
And the good news about that, Rich, is the way Dan Ugla's hit lefties this year.
At the knees, and it's 3-1. Your Fox tracks, and pitch 4 was right at the knees. Brought to you by Toyota. Cantu, right center, and Murphy is there. The line drives have all found the glove. Garrett, have fun in Alaska. Keep hitting, will you?
For sure. Thank you guys for having me on.
All right, and we'll certainly check in with you when you start your season up again next year.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, Garrett Willis, Florida International. One low price. The next all-you-can-eat night is Friday night. Marlins and Rays. 305-626-SAVE. Oof. An inning in which the Marlins got a run, but a frustrating one, and that they just got only one.
It's been kind of the M.O. Lately. The Marlins have had opportunities to open up games or at least get back in games. Chances to score more than just one run, and that's all they got out of that last inning.
Uggla fires to first. And Julio Borbon is out. That's going to bring Harrison up. Anibal Sanchez, remember in the third inning, Raniel Pinto actually was up and warming in the bullpen.
I'm sure Ron Washington told his left-hander, Matt Harrison, be careful with the swing. Yeah, I understand it to a degree. That's one of the complaints American League teams have about interleague play. They have to have their pitchers hit. I think it should always be that way, and that's why I don't like the DH. But they'll take batting practice a couple of weeks before interleague play starts. They also have to go out and run the bases if they hit a ball that's into the gap or get on.
Was it Hank Steinbrenner a couple years ago after a Yankee pitcher injured himself running the bases that decried the fact, Chien-Ming Wang, I think, the fact that American League pitchers have no business out there hitting or running?
And here's the problem with Sanchez right now. He's got an American League pitcher up there who's never swung the bat before, and he's 3-2 on him. He should have thrown him 3 straight strikes and said goodbye.
You're right.
And now he's got a battle. He's making him pitch, and he's thrown 75 pitches.
3-2 is the count. Speaking of the Yankees, the Phillies are beating them 6-1 in the fourth.
Beating A.J. Burnett.
Ryan Howard and Jason Worth have both homered.
That's been a kind of an all-or-nothing game for Anibal Sanchez. He's not been as sharp as we've seen him and as consistent in throwing strikes, but he does have 5 strikeouts in this game. And he's been, you almost can't say he's been wild because he's walked only 1, but he has been. A lot of deep counts.
Up the middle, Hanley to his left.
He needed this.
Gabby picks it, and it's a 1-2-3 inning, the first of the night for Sanchez. 3-1, Texas. Right hip flexor. Let's flip the phone. Our AT&T trivia question: Ranger record for career wins. We had a Bobby Witt answer last night.
Yeah, we had a Bobby Witt, Nolan Ryan. I don't know if Nolan was there long enough. Ferguson Jenkins a little bit with the Rangers.
There really isn't a, when you think about starting pitchers in Ranger history, there really aren't too many guys that just stand out, are there? You go back to the 70s.
David Clyde didn't last long enough.
Who was the ace of the staff when Johnny Oates was there? Johnny Oates was the manager and sadly passed away from brain cancer. Johnny Oates was the manager that took Texas to the postseason the 3 times they had been there. And incidentally, a former Texas Ranger manager, Buck Showalter, in the news today. The Baltimore Orioles apparently have made contact with Showalter about their managing position.
Yeah, they had also made contact with Bobby Valentine.
They called you.
Yeah, they just wanted to know what time we were coming in for that 3-game series next week.
Monday night, we'll be there. Ugla fouls it back. Ugla, Ross, and Stanton. JM Lexus presents our leaders of the game. Ugla against lefties. Marlon Byrd, David Wright, McCutchen, Cabrera. That's inside.
Terrific young player, Andrew McCutchen with Pittsburgh. Marlon Byrd having an incredible year. One of the bright spots for the Chicago Cubs.
See, that's the. Now I'm thinking, okay, now where are the Cubs tonight in interleague?
It's going to take you a while to find it.
They're home against Oakland, and the kid from Hialeah's pitching for Oakland, Gio Gonzalez. Oakland has a 1-0 lead, bottom first.
Well, the kid from Coconut Creek High School did a pretty good job last night against Toronto. Matt Latos beat the Blue Jays.
Ugla broke his bat, and he's on his way in for some new lumber. Arizona is in Boston. 4-2 Red Sox in the 4th. Nationals are in Detroit. 5-2 Tigers in the 5th. Ugla strikes out.
Filed that one away. Good changeup. He threw a couple of changeups in that at bat to Dan Ugla. So if you're Cody Ross, if you're Mike Stanton, you certainly want to file that away and know that Harrison has that pretty good changeup.
Cody Ross takes a strike. Ross in this ball game is 0 for 1. Matt Harrison misses up. Harrison was on the disabled list himself with left biceps tendonitis. As I pointed out, he's been a starter in his brief major league career with the Rangers. Harrison high with the breaking ball. So it's 3-2. Mike Stanton up next. Sharply hit ground ball, Young. Anywhere you put him on the infield, he is a plus fielder. I have absolutely no clue on this one.
I think it's going to be one of those we'll probably be surprised at, though. Because there's someone there that we're not thinking of. Charlie Huff.
Charlie Huff.
And what a great connection.
Stanton pops one up. Trainer.
And Matt Trainer a little more familiar with the territory. around the dugouts here. Probably had a few guys say some things to him as he got over there.
Do we have a look at that and see if he was going to get any help from his old teammates in there? Yeah, see, look.
Hanley was there just in case.
Nice job. That is a nice gesture by Hanley. Stand with the count 1-1.
He's had a couple of pretty good pitches to hit. The first pitch that he saw from Harrison, pretty good fastball, and then he popped up on a fastball in the second inning. Another one.
In the air to right. That's a long run for Murphy. He's there and he makes the catch. And the Marlins go 1, 2, 3 in the fourth. On to the fifth. 3-1 Rangers. Fifth inning, home of the $5 footlong. Play hard, eat fresh. 3-1. Frustrating night so far for the Fish. Michael Young. Michael Stanton. One out. Let's see what our Toyota trend is for the night. Texas on the road. Texas at home. Big difference. It's a great ballpark to hit. In fact, the Rangers kind of swapped one high-profile coach and welcomed in another in bringing in Mike Maddox, Rudy Jaramillo, who was the longtime hitting coach in Texas, now in Chicago.
And also bringing in Clint Hurdle as their hitting coach.
Stanton. Here's a look at Maddox.
Yeah, very well respected. Mike Maddox, ever since he retired and began his coaching career, has been a well-respected pitching coach.
And I think that the part of the equation with Maddox is the fact that he and Nolan Ryan are on the same page. Because Ryan, the president of the team, one of the guys that's trying to buy the team. And so they share some of the same theories about starting pitching, trying to stretch guys out, maybe discount pitch count more so than others. Josh Hamilton. This is his third at bat. He already has 2 hits. Hamilton struggled with substance abuse Had him out of the game for 3 years. Finally got his life together.
Tremendous autobiography beyond belief.
Two-time All-Star. Pulls it foul. Remember, it was the Cincinnati Reds that gave him a shot in the big leagues. And the Reds traded him to Texas for Edinson Volquez. Rangers wanted a left-handed bat. The Reds wanted a starting pitcher. And it was a nice match. Ugla can't get it, and into right center it goes. 3 hits now for Josh Hamilton. A 12-game hitting streak and 5 hits already in this series.
Well, he was the American League Cole Player of the Week, along with his teammate Colby Lewis. So a couple of guys on fire for the Texas Rangers. Boy, Fox Exmo gives you that powerful swing, and how quickly that ball got past Dan Ugla. We saw Hamilton steal a bag. Doesn't steal a lot of bases. Stole a big bag last night in the 9th inning off Leo Nunez.
Sanchi with a good fastball. 0-1 on Murphy. Ball in a strike. Gabby has it, and he steps on the bag. So Sanchez has settled into this game after giving up runs in the first, second, and third. 3-1, Texas. Hard, eat fresh. Marlins need some of that, Tommy. They need some of that love right now. They're not getting it. The Fish right now, a frustrating night last night. And Matt Harrison continues on for the Rangers. Last night, 2 runs, 3 hits. The Hanley homer was it offensively. Here's Paulino.
You know, the Marlins saw some outstanding starting pitching in Tampa, and they'll see more of it this weekend when the Rays come to South Florida. And that's not been the case with Texas, not taking anything away from C.J. Wilson and Tommy Hunter and now Matt Harrison. But a little different story than that Rays starting staff.
Ronnie Paulino with a base hit to center field. Hey, Tommy, we were talking about Josh Hamilton and his ordeal and having to overcome his drug issues and substance abuse problems. And it got me to thinking to check in and see how Jeff Allison is doing. And he's pitching right now for Jacksonville for the Marlins. He's 2-3, 4.06 ERA. He's made 7 starts and 7 relief appearances. Sanchez lays down a bunt. Trainer picks it up, flips over to first in time. Allison very similar to Hamilton in a guy that was a first-round pick, can't-miss prospect, and ran into drug problems himself.
And battled and seems to have turned the corner and gotten himself straightened out. So it's always a good story when you see that. And that's why Josh Hamilton has been such a great story.
Here's Coughlin. He has walked and struck out. And the Marlins trying to cut into this Texas league. Actually, they could use a Texas leaguer or two trying to cut into this Texas lead. Breaking ball is a strike.
You know, all of a sudden, Cogs has run into a little wall over his last 8, even though he has hit some balls hard. A couple of line drive outs last night.
The term Texas leaguer. The Texas League is a league, it's a great hitters league.
Yeah, I played in the Texas League.
I worked in the Texas League, but the wind always blows, especially in Texas.
The Texas League is hot and windy.
There's a liner into right center field. That'll get the job done. Paulino will score. Coughlin hustling into second base with a head-first slide and a double.
That time, Chris Coughlin crossed up the defense the Rangers had. We talked about how they played Paulino so well his last at bat. This time they were shading him over to left center. Chris gets that nice swing. It's our checkers double of the game. Finds that hole in right center. So it was a long way for the center fielder, Julio Bourbon, to run. And a well-struck line drive by Chris Coughlin.
Now Sanchez. You wonder how long a leash Matt Harrison will have in terms of pitch count. A guy that has been coming out of the bullpen. He was a starter for a couple of years, but has been on the DL, working out of the pen. And if you've just joined us, he came in when Tommy Hunter left with an injury in the 3rd.
You know, it's the kind of game, the kind of situation, if this were in Texas and you had the DH, you could go as long as you wanted with Harrison. You wouldn't have to worry about pinch hitting.
Gabby singled in the 3rd. Walked 3 times last night. And was trying to yank one there.
Not the changeup, though.
Coughlin at second, a run across, a 1-run game now. Matt Harrison's 2-1.
Came back with the fastball after that 82-mile-an-hour changeup. Boy, the essence of pitching, the more you watch pitchers who can take a little bit off, add a little. Most RBIs in the National League by rookies. Yeah, you're going to see Gabby's name in a lot of those categories. But the essence is keeping that hitter off balance.
That's happening to the Yankees tonight. The Phillies have a 6-1 lead in the 5th, and the Yankees are getting a taste of Jamie Moyer. Who has made a living at keeping guys off balance.
Yeah, he's a little better tonight than he was at Fenway Park.
That's true. 2-2. In the dirt. Trainer's so good behind the plate.
Yeah, you talk to a lot of pitchers, a lot of Marlins guys who had a chance to pitch to Matt Trainer, and they'll tell you how much they enjoyed him.
Too much time for Gabby, who calls timeout. Full count, 1 out, bottom of the 5th. Ground ball. Andrus has the out, and Hanley will get a shot with a runner at third and 2 outs. Hanley has driven in a run, but he is 0 for 2. One of the big at-bats for the Marlins was Hanley's in the third with the bases loaded and 1 out. Hanley hit a chopper to Ian Kinsler out at second base. It did drive in a run, but it was the second out of the inning. Jorge Cantu then lined to right to finish that inning. Hanley shortening to bunts with Michael Young almost in shallow left field.
You know what? Michael Young hasn't budged. And Hanley does not do that very often. It's almost like Michael Young said, if you want to do that, go ahead. But you're not going to hit a double past me.
Drive to left. It's deep. Caught at the wall. Wow. Julio Borbon, about 400 feet from home plate, made the reach and the catch. Marlins have to settle for a run. It's 3-2. Line seat selection for the new ballpark is underway for current season ticket holders. 1-877 Marlins today. Boy, the Marlins have come close. They've hit line drives at people. Hanley hit one to the base of the wall in deep left center, and he gets a ground ball to start with. Speaking of the new ballpark, Tommy.
Yeah, tell everybody about what you were showing me earlier. This is absolutely amazing.
On the official Marlins website, if you're at home, you got your computer, your laptop going, go to marlins.com and go to the ballparks link. And when you hit the ballpark or go over the ballparks link, you're going to see something that pops up that says 3D seat view. Go to it and play around. It is astonishing to see. Essentially what you can do, there's probably 8 to 10 There it is right there. If you want to type in the website, go, be my guest. Good luck trying to remember that. But go to Marlins.com. Just go to the ballparks link and go to 3D Seat View. And once you get there, there's about 8 to 10 spots in the new ballpark. You can click on that spot, and it will give you a virtual look of the ballpark in 3D, and will show you every nook, cranny. There's a liner from Trainer that's
there's
foul.
even a spot kind of where you and I will be sitting in the television booth, and it gives us an idea of what we'll be seeing as we look out onto the field.
Yeah, it'll give you a shot of everything. There's Darren O'Day. It'll answer the question, where are the bullpens? What will the outfield look like? What will the downtown view look like? Will you be able to see downtown from inside the ballpark? And the answer is a resounding yes. So check it out. Go to Marlins.com, ballpark, 3D seat view. 2-2 pitch to Trainer. Got it up, and Trainer lines it to center. Ross makes the catch.
I'll tell you what, ever since Anibal Sanchez got a visit, ever since we saw Raniel Pinto start to loosen up a little bit, he has thrown the ball much better. And in similar fashion to J.J. last night, it didn't look like Sanchez would go this deep into the game. And he has a chance right now, 95 pitches, to get this inning in and possibly one more.
The difference in this ballgame right now is a Julio Bourbon home run, which is interesting because it's his only home run of the season. He's hot. He's no Pedro Bourbon, but he's Julio Bourbon. And with more, here's Craig.
Well, how about last night? He had a key walk. He wound up scoring what proved to be the game-winning run. It was only his 4th walk in 192 plate appearances, just shy of the league mark. Otherwise, he'd be #1 for the worst ratio walk to plate appearances. So that was a rarity. And also the first walk Nunez gave up in 18 appearances. So a rarity, and it ended up costing the Marlins when Trainer got that 2-run triple.
Yeah, that's right, Craig. Leo Nunez in those 18 appearances had gone 17 1/3 consecutive innings without a walk, and it was a very costly walk.
There was Nunez down in the bullpen.
But we talk about in this game having a short memory, and closers have to really have a short memory.
6th inning, and the Rangers are going to pinch hit for Harrison. And so this is Joaquin Arias, 25-year-old Dominican infielder.
See that little drill that Leo Nunez, that little twirling, flipping, keeps his wrist loose down there.
Barrels that one up into center fields. Bourbon is on his way to third. And the bottom of the order has produced a couple of hits with 2 outs.
Yeah, kind of squibbed that off the end of the bat out in front of a pitch, but you know, when it's well directed that way, you get yourself a base hit.
All right, so the decision now, as you watch
end of the bat, second base umpire Mark Wegner dancing out of the way.
The question now is, can Sanchez get through this 6th inning? Now it's the top of the order and a better hitter in Elvis Andrus, with Bourbon at third and Arias, the runner, at first. Sanchez misses up. He's 1 pitch shy of 100.
And I think just the fact that he's had to go deeper now in this inning with a couple of base hits after he retired the first 2 hitters, I think because of that, this is probably going to be it for him if he gets through this inning.
But this may be the last guy he faces, because then you got Michael Young, and it would be the 4th time for Young to see Sanchez. Good live fastball. He's still bringing it.
Yeah, that's a good sign. 94 on that last fastball.
throw over to first. Remember, a throwing error by Sanchez was a big part early in this ball game on a pickoff throw to first. Missed out. 2-2. Sanders 21. Good breaking ball. And for a guy that wobbled early, Sanchez has kept the Rangers off the board in the 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Up on Tuesday, July 13th, the annual Major League Baseball All-Star Game. You can see it on Fox at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock if you're watching us way out west here tonight. July 13th, Tuesday night, the Midsummer Classic. And good news for Marlin fans, and thanks to many of you, Hanley Ramirez for the 2nd straight week is the leader in the All-Star voting. He's got over 1 million votes, got a lead of about 200,000 on the sideline Jimmy Rollins. Voting here at the stadium will end on Saturday and around stadiums across the country, but you can still go online and vote up to 25 times at Marlins.com and vote in your Marlins. Uggla's up to 3rd among second basemen, but way behind the leader Chase Utley, who's at nearly 2 million votes, and that right now is 2nd amongst the NL leaders. Albert Pujols is the top guy among the first basemen, over 2 million votes. So get your favorite players in, including your favorite fish, at Marlins.com, guys.
Craig, Darren O'Day is in the ball game to pitch for the Rangers. Jorge Cantu, Dan Uggla, and Cody Ross.
Kind of looks like former Yankee, Mariner reliever Jeff Nelson out there with that delivery. Slurvy slider. Throws him down in that area.
I doubt he's as good a basketball player as Jeff Nelson was. Nelly was one of those guys that used to get the special invite to play hoops at Cal Ripken's private gym. Ripken used to play a lot of basketball in the offseason.
Is it gym in his home?
Yes. And Nelson, who lived in Maryland, was from Maryland in the offseason, used to get that invite because he could post up.
I'll tell you who used to tell me about some of those games was Ken Singleton. Also lives in that area and is a tremendous ball player, Yankee announcer now. And Singing used to describe that gym in Ripken's house, and it has a scoreboard and everything, electronic scoreboard and everything.
And a locker room.
Yeah.
Here's Uggla now. Dan is lined out and struck out. You heard Craig give the National League update as far as the All-Star balloting. In the American League, the Texas Rangers are represented at the DH spot and in the outfield. Vladimir Guerrero is the leading vote getter by a long shot as the starting DH in the All-Star game. And Nelson Cruz is third among outfielders. That's a swing by Ugla.
Even though right now Nelson Cruz is on the disabled list.
But if he can't play, Josh Hamilton is fourth. Here's the one that will rankle a lot of people, though. The number 4 catcher in the American League, the Rangers' Taylor Teagarden, who is in Double-A. Swing and a miss.
See, that's one of those where people just see the name and say, hey, that's a neat name. I'm going to vote for him.
And that's the problem, is his name was the one submitted and put on the ballot to start the season. Taylor Teagarden. He is fourth behind Joe Mauer, Jorge Posada, and Victor Martinez. Ugla checks his swing. That's a swing as well. There it goes Dan.
You know, it's almost like he tried to check and get out of the way at the same time. And as you turn your body to get out of the way, first base umpire Jerry Meals ringing him up. That probably did, but that's a tough one. And Dan Ugla will have to find his way back to the dugout.
Justin Morneau leads at first base. That's a close race with Mark Teixeira and Miguel Cabrera. What a stacked position that is.
Wow. Well, Teixeira having the off year. Cabrera having a fantastic year.
Then you got Youkilis and Pena right behind him. At second base, Robinson Cano and Dustin Pedroia. Cano by a bunch in that one. Ian Kinsler is third. Evan Longoria is the leader at third base with a comfortable lead over Alex Rodriguez. Derek Jeter by a landslide at shortstop.
Well, Robinson Cano hitting .368 coming into play today, leading the American League.
The leading vote getter in the American League is Joe Mauer with 2.6 million votes. Cody's up with the count 2-0. Think about what the Marlins have seen tonight. They saw a 6'3", 280-pound right-hander to begin with for the first 2 1/3. Then they get the lefty Matt Harrison, and now they get the slinger in Darren O'Day.
And as the game moves on, gets a little deeper, they may see some of those hard throwers again.
Ogando and Feliz last night. It's a called strike. It's 3-2. Got in, broke his bat. Smoke makes the catch. Darren O'Day, a mystery to the Fish in the 6th. Going to the 7th, 1-run game. Jorge Sosa, he takes over for Anibal Sanchez.
Yeah, the bats have gotten kind of quiet here this 2 games against Texas. So now it's Jorge Sosa's job to keep it a 1-run game.
Michael Young, Ian Kinsler, Josh Hamilton. Remember, the Rangers have a pretty good pinch hitting weapon on their bench, Vladimir Guerrero. Sosa misses up. Sanchez, after wobbling in the first, ends up going 6 innings, struck out 6, walked 1.
Michael Young still 1 hit shy of the Texas franchise record in hits.
Gets into that one, drives it right center. Stanton tries to retrieve it in the gap. Young will settle for a double.
Well, he's going to want to get that baseball because now with 1,747 hits, he is tied with Pudge Rodriguez. Prior to this double, he'd been 0 for 7 in the series. The Marlins have done a pretty good job on him, but takes that fastball. He's been trying to stay back all series. Hits the ball well that way, and that time hit it extremely well.
That would be a great rain delay trivia question. Name the all-time hit leaders of each franchise. That's why I said rain delay trivia question, because it would take a while. Who's the Marlins' all-time hit leader? Luis Castillo?
Luis Castillo.
Ground ball, Hanley. Young goes back. Kinsler is out. We could ask Craig who the Mets' all-time hit leader is. I'm sure he would know that. The Jaguar performance of the game. Marlins can't get this guy out, Josh Hamilton. That infield single in the first. This the third. How about a 5th inning base hit to make his night complete? And he drives one into center field. And the Marlins so impressed that Jorge Sosa's coming out and Tank's coming in. Here's our Marooney, called to the pen.
When you need a car, truck or van.
Member of the University of Alabama baseball squad, Tommy Hunter, another member of the Crimson Tide baseball program, Taylor Tankersley, on in relief, and his job, should he choose to accept it, is get Josh Hamilton out.
Well, he's got left-handers. He's got Hamilton and then David Murphy, and then a switch hitter, Justin Smoke.
Tank bounces one up there. There's Michael Young.
Yeah, Tank 3-4 years older than Tommy Hunter, so they probably were not teammates in Alabama, but certainly share the same alma mater. There's Jay Bente getting loose. Not a lot of action for Jay lately.
Breaking ball is up, and the count's 2-0.
These are those situations specifically for Taylor Tankersley to come in and get tough left-handed hitters.
Liner to left. Coughlin back, reaches. Boy, Hamilton, that's the best ball he's hit all night, and he has 3 hits. Two outs. Here comes Murphy, another lefty. Jiffy Lube Fiesta Friday on the 25th is Padres and Marlins at 7:10. Marlins all-you-can-eat seats. You can play Billy Bingo. 2,500 winners will get a Chris Coughlin bobblehead courtesy of Marooney. 1-877 Marlins, or visit marlins.com. And that Fiesta Friday is the night of our fantasy auction as well.
Well, a lot of activity at the ballpark that night. Not to mention the first place San Diego Padres. Well, they're in first place by a half game right now. Half game over the Dodgers.
By the way, if you want to come and attend the auction that night and you've got a group, you can bid on right now the Bud Beach area, the beach zone down there in right field. There's a fly ball to right center field. Cody Ross is over. Nice job by Tank. We'll let you know how you can get in to the beach zone on that Friday night when we return.
The plate looked like that upper half pulled off just a little. That was against the right-hander. Left-hander, middle of the plate, even in a little bit, and again just kind of opened up a little soon. So actually tonight he's gotten a couple of really good pitches to hit. We didn't see him get too many good pitches to hit last night. Had a couple of good ones tonight, and he's popped them up.
Mike Stanton now. Want to know to Mike Stanton in a one-run game in the bottom of the 7th. His first AB against Darren O'Day. In fact, Stanton tonight, this is his 3rd at bat, and this is the 3rd different pitcher he's seen. 2-1. Darren Oliver, not only still pitching in the big leagues, but pitching well.
Yeah, still effective. At one time a Marlin. At one time with a lot of teams.
Stand the line drive, and as most of the Marlins liners tonight, right at somebody.
Hit that one pretty well. Got the slider from O'Day.
All right, Tommy, if you go to Marlins.com
in this area,
Marlins.com, and go to the auction link. It's up on the top menu. Auction link, and you'll see a picture of Billy floating in the hot tub there. And if you click on that link, you can make a bid to have that all to yourself and 29 of your closest friends. 30 people with the winning bid will get that beach zone all to themselves on that Friday night on the 25th, the night of the auction. June 25th. So if you've got a group that wants to come out and you've always wanted to rent that spot down there, this is the way to do it. Marlins.com, look for the auctions link and click on Billy in the hot tub. And it's catered down there too. So you get a ballpark style buffet. A visit from Billy. Paulino, left field. Hamilton under it, and makes the catch. Bidding starts at $750 for that. And of course, that's all part of our big fantasy auction. You can log on to marlins.com/fantasy right now and buy your tickets. Just $50 gets you in the fantasy auction section. Access to all the happenings and goings on there. And the prize packages, you can bid either over the phone or you can do it in person. There's a lot of great packages. The Tommy Hutton golf package always goes for a lot. We've got a Carnival cruise, a trip to the Bahamas. And again, if you go to Marlins.com auction, you can put in a bid to have that all to yourself that night. We'll have 30 people down there. Bonifacio with 2 outs. One and 0. We were talking the other night about the Marlins bench and really the lack of experienced pinch hitters.
Yeah, this is a situation and not so much experience. And really, you think about it, Bonifacio doesn't have experienced pinch hitting. But this is one of those times in a one-run game you'd like to pull a left-hander off the bench that has a shot to hit one out.
Ball and a strike to Bonifacio. And one of the things that it does for Freddie Gonzalez is he has to be a lot more strategic and careful with how he uses Wes Helms, because Helms is really his best pinch hitting weapon. And the drop off in terms of experience from there is pretty dramatic.
Not at all like the Ross Glode Wes Helms combination last year.
Or even having a second catcher like a John Baker or a Ronnie Paulino. I mean, Paulino has been a great pinch hitter, but that was when Baker was here. And certainly Baker, an experienced hitter.
And Brett Hayes, known more for his defensive abilities than his hitting abilities. And Cameron Maben has just struggled and hasn't played in a game since Mike Stanton arrived. So that's the bench. Brian Varden used sparingly to pinch run, come in to play some defense.
Bonifacio, little liner out to Andrus, who makes the catch. And the Marlins go down in order. Darren O'Day has retired all 6 that he has faced. who is the award winner tonight. Tommy is in suspense, edge of his chair. We will be announcing the recipient of the Keep Your Edge Spotlight at a later time during our telecast.
But Rich, before that announcement is made, we'll make the announcement that Darren O'Day was pretty perfect. And now Jay Bente comes in to pitch for the Marlins.
Well, there we go. We have awarded it to Darren O'Day because of what Tommy just said. See what clout you have here in the booth? You two can keep your edge with Just for Men mustache and beard.
Well, he faced 6. He retired 6. Now it's up to Jay Bente, who last worked on June 5th at Citi Field against the Mets. So it's been 11 days since he's had an appearance.
Justin Smoke, Matt Trainer, and Julio Borbon.
As functional as the Tampa Bay Rays roster is, the Marlins is dysfunctional. A lot of guys that really haven't been used a lot, and it kind of ties the hands of Freddie Gonzalez at times. And right now in a little bit of a bind because I don't know if Clay Hensley is available again. I don't think so tonight.
Just like your wardrobe. Functional. Look, Clay says easy on the neck there.
Yeah, he's getting a little help from Brett Hayes.
It's actually the left shoulder.
Yeah, Brett, the left side. We're going to have a real functional wardrobe on not this trip to Baltimore, but the next trip, because of all the places we go.
Well, so you start in Puerto Rico for what will essentially be 3 home games for the Marlins against the Mets.
It's safe to say pretty much everywhere we go it's going to be warm, and we might have a couple of cool nights in Los Angeles.
3 nights in Puerto Rico, 4 nights in Atlanta, 3 nights in Los Angeles, 4 nights in Phoenix, and then the All-Star break. That's what, a 14-day trek? Matt Trainer, runner goes, hit and run, and he hit it right through Cantu. Down the line it went. Smoke didn't see it. Had he been a little more heads up, he might have been at third base.
Well, we used to see that with frequency. Matt Trainer has pretty good bat control, so he's a good hit and run guy. Gets a base hit on that. That ball was hit sharply. So with the runner Smoke on the move, Trainer makes contact, hard contact, and with Jorge Cantu, even with the bag at third, that ball skipped by him.
Julio Borbon is up, and he has been nominated tonight for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast, of which he has won. Only one this year, and this was it.
Fastball down, in a little bit. And the scary part, as he steps in there, as we show that home run, on deck now for Texas, Vladimir Guerrero.
Bente with a fastball that misses inside. Is there a better nickname than Vlad the Impaler?
We had him on that list,
yes,
didn't we? Yeah, we did.
He was on the all nickname list. Well, if you're Jay Bente, you have to ask yourself, would I rather face Guerrero with the bases loaded, nobody out, or at least try to get an out and have first base open? Borbon bunting at the 2-0 pitch, fouls it off.
Philadelphia still has a 6-2 lead against the Yankees. The Phillies went into that game tonight against the Yankees having won 6 of their last 21, 6-15 over their last 21 games. And, you know, when you look at ball clubs, obviously we see the Marlins, our fans see the Marlins all the time, and you get frustrated. Then you think about Philly fans. They've got a good ball club. They've got tremendous offense. And they've lost 15 out of 21 going into tonight.
It's funny you should mention the Phillies in that sense, because when we were in Philadelphia around the batting cage, I had a long talk with Charlie Manuel, and he was talking about the Marlins team and what he liked about them, and I was telling him about the Phillies team and what I liked about them. There's a slow roller to first, and Gabby Sanchez will step on the bag, and so up comes Vlad with first base open in a one-run game. But Charlie's point was sometimes the team that you see on an everyday basis, you see the warts, you see the faults of that team more so than other teams that see your team, you know, in the East's case, you know, 18 times, other divisions 6, 7, 8 times. And he said you have a tendency to see another team and say, oh boy, that team, I wish we were like that team. And yet if you watch that team that he's talking about every day, you wouldn't want to be like that team. And he said it's an interesting phenomenon in baseball.
Yeah, and I think to carry that even further, it's one thing with all the teams you play in your division, you see them 18 times, but how about those teams you only see 6 times, 5, 6, 8 times maybe tops? So then you just have to figure out, are you going to get them when they're on a roll, or if they're in a cold spell? A lot of it depends on that.
So as we expected here, or suspected, with first base open, the Marlins just flat out aren't going to deal with Vladimir Guerrero. And they're going to let Jay Bente go after Elvis Andrus.
Well, 3 times. Andrus is 0 for 4. 3 times tonight he's hit ground balls to short. They'd love to see that right here now.
Anibal Sanchez went 6 innings. Jorge Sosa got an out in the 7th. Taylor Tankersley got 2 outs, got 2 lefties out.
Who was our emailer last night, Rich, who said we don't follow up with number 2s and 3s? Was it Dan or Don?
Some guy in, I think, Boynton Beach.
Yeah. Got a good one.
Or Delray Beach.
Got a good one for him. With that intentional walk to Vladimir Guerrero, that's the 245th intentional walk he's received. He's the active leader in intentional walks. Number 2, Albert Pujols. Number 3, Manny Ramirez.
Who's the all-time leader? Is it Barry Bonds?
I would have to think so, yeah.
Was that as much in vogue when Ruth played?
Maybe not as much. I know one of the great trivia questions was the year Maris hit 61. He was not intentionally walked 1 time because Mantle hit behind him.
1-1 to Andrus. And Bente misses up and in, and it's 2-1 now. That's the danger of walking Vlad, is, yeah, you get rid of him. Look at our cracked staff.
Look at the discrepancy and the difference in first and second.
Our staff working hard. One more time. Stretch was on that list. Willie McCovey.
Willie McCovey.
Did he generally hit behind Mays? Mays, then McCovey? Mays third, McCovey fourth?
I think so.
2-2. Outside corner. Great pitch by Bente.
Oh, that's a nice job. Nice job by Jay Bente. Not out of the woods because he's got to face Michael Young, but made a perfect pitch to get Elvis Andrus.
Dale Scott has one of the best called strike 3 calls of all umpires. He kind of steps back and then steps into it. Pitch 5 on Fox Track was the strikeout. And so as a reward, Jay Bente has to face one of the best hitters in the big leagues, and that's Michael Young.
Michael Young now has hit in 27 of his last 30 games. A consistent performer he's been in his entire major league career.
Crowd wanted that one. Smoke. Trainer. Vlad. One. There's the split that Bente throws.
Yeah, he uses that as his changeup. And a lot of times he'll throw that more often than his fastball.
You can see the pitch that the crowd reacted to, number 2, was out.
Yeah, he came right back with it. Another good one.
Jay Bente, as Tommy pointed out, hasn't pitched in 11 days. Trying to get out of this 8th inning. Young doubled in the 7th. The split, and Young just got a piece. So he's thrown 3 splits in a row.
And you know, you think about it, guys down in the bullpen, they can't go out and throw a whole lot. They can throw to try to keep sharp. Look at that career with bases loaded.
Fastball, ground ball, into center field, a base hit. The Rangers are going to pick up 2 more. Michael Young, with that swing, is now the all-time hit leader for the Rangers/Washington franchise. And it's a painful one for the Fish. Bente had gone with 3 splits. This one was a fastball.
3 splits, went with a fastball, and again, too much of the plate. That's what allowed Young to have a good swing just out of the reach of Hanley Ramirez. So Michael Young made that record-setting hit a big one for Texas to stretch their lead out.
42 runs driven in this year for Young. Now Kinsler. It's funny how a guy like Kinsler becomes somebody that Garrett Whittles looks up to, and he's a guy that is certainly known, but not well known around baseball. But if you follow the game, you know how hard he plays and what type of player he is. Bente gets a strike at the knees, and it's 2-1. Kinsler was an all-star back in 2008.
Yeah, the interesting thing, and you look at this ballpark, we have them here, a couple of them. Home runs by second baseman the last 3 years. Of course, Dan Ugla, the leader over the last 3 years. Then Utley, then Brandon Phillips, and then Kinsler. But a down year power-wise for Kinsler.
Bente with a split, and I'll bet he wishes he threw that one to Michael Young with 2 strikes. 5-2 Texas.
really has been. In the first inning, Texas was able to put together a couple of infield singles, another base hit, and they picked up a run to take an early lead. Then they got a long home run, first home run of the year by Julio Borbon in the second inning. In the third, they added another run on a ball that skipped by Gabby Sanchez. Kinsler came in to score. Marlins picked up a run on this ground ball out of Hanley Ramirez. There's an opportunity there with bases loaded and one out. The Marlins got just the one run. Got another run. Line drive, base hit, double for Chris Coghlan. Game was close, 3-2, but with bases loaded, big base hit by Michael Young, a record-setting hit for him, setting a franchise record in hits, and also driving in 2 runs.
Visit LandRoverUSA.com. 5-2 Rangers. Coghlan leads it off, and another power arm comes out of the Texas bullpen. Hard-throwing Frank Francisco, who is second among American League relievers with 38 strikeouts.
Well, in essence, the Texas Rangers and Ron Washington have a couple of closers in their bullpen. Francisco had 25 saves last year, and he has stepped into that 8th inning, that setup role, and has given way to Neftali Feliz.
Fastball's outside. It's 3-0.
You get ahead of the count, you kind of take away that splitter. And Francisco has a good one, but that's a pitch he likes to use to put you away.
Four-pitch walk. So the Marlins have their leadoff man aboard. At the top of the order, rolling through, you got Gabby, Hanley, Cantu. And if things get rolling, Ugla and Ross, and the Marlins definitely need to get it rolling now.
Now, Chris Coghlan's done his job. He's been on base 3 times, 2 walks, a double. Now he sets the stage for the next part of the order.
Gabby has singled, and he takes down low. And Matt Trainor's out to try to settle down Francisco. Dustin Nippert will get the start tomorrow night. The Marlins will avoid Scott Feldman.
Yeah, there was some question whether it would be Feldman, but a couple of pitchers in their rotation that Washington wanted to give that extra day. And by doing that, they're going to have to make a move and use Nippert out of the bullpen.
Francisco has been with Texas since 2004. And he splits the plate with a strike. He's out of the Dominican Republic, lives here in Miami. Was a closer at times last year. Ground ball, base hit, right field. Coghlan on his way to third. Marlins set up with runners at the corners. And here comes Hanley.
So many times, and I think this was the decision of Freddie Gonzalez. We've seen a couple of attempts by Gabby Sanchez in bunting, and they're not good attempts. He's not a good bunter, but he is good at doing this. Staying back, taking advantage of that hole on the right side. Great swing, big base hit, chases Coghlan over to third.
Hanley 0 for 3. The last ball he hit was to the base of the wall in deepest, darkest left center field.
Boy, Gabby Sanchez, Rich, 8 for his last 18.
At the big series in St. Pete against the Rays. Breaking ball, ground ball. Out there, out there. Marlins get a run, but Hanley bounces into a double play.
They just can't put together an inning to move some runners and have a crooked number up there as opposed to just putting one. I hope Hanley was looking for the curveball, because if he swung at the first pitch and wasn't looking for the curveball, it was a mistake. And a routine double play once it got into the hands of Elvis Andrus.
Boy, that bails Francisco out, who obviously isn't real sharp right now. A walk to Coughlin, a single to Sanchez. It's a 2-run game, but there are 2 outs. Hanley Ramirez in this ball game has had 3 at-bats with runners in scoring position and is 0 for 3. Although one of those balls he did hit about 400, 405 feet. Cantu takes one down the pipe. 1-2. Cantu had an at-bat with a runner in scoring position. He lined out in the 3rd. So the Marlins have barreled some balls up in some key spots. The Mets tonight are in Cleveland and beating the Indians again, 8-4. That's in the bottom of the 8th. Phillies 6-2 over the Yankees in the 9th. Braves 4-0 over Tampa Bay in the 8th. Washington has lost. 8-3, Detroit beats them. Two and 2 to Cantu. Ugla hoping to get a shot. Man, he drilled it, and again, right at somebody.
And again, playing well over into that left center field gap.
Marlins get a run, still down 2. Texas up 5-3. It's the 9th inning. And there's been a Reniel Pinto sighting. Pinto, first appearance since coming off the disabled list. And he will come on and start the 9th. He gets Josh Hamilton, David Murphy, and Justin Smoke. Marlins have had to dig deep to their bullpen. Jorge Sosa, Taylor Tankersley, Jay Bente, and now Pinto on a night where Clay Hensley still nursing that sore neck, which means that kind of takes Brian Sanchez out of the mix because you have to save him to set up for Nunez.
And Brian Sanchez kind of lost in the toughness of that loss last night. Did a nice job getting out of the 8th inning.
And there's Felice. A 1-2-3 inning for him and a save last night. Big night in Kansas City tonight, because Major League Baseball has awarded the Royals the 2012 All-Star Game. Kauffman Stadium has always been an underrated jewel of a ballpark, and with the improvements and the upgrades that they've made over the last 3 years, that ball is clobbered right center field. That's deep. How deep? That's a blue tarper. Josh Hamilton off of Reniel Pinto just put that ball in orbit.
So again, my question goes out to those of you who are at home throwing things at the television. Who is there for Freddie to use? We've seen everybody. And nothing has changed. Pinto's still struggling getting left-handers out. An absolute bullet by Josh Hamilton. Wow.
Hamilton 4 hits tonight. 6 hits already in the first 2 games of the series.
16th home run of the year.
Murphy. Pinto drops it and throws him out.
So the American League leader in home runs is Miguel Cabrera with 19. Jose Bautista with Toronto has been on fire. He has 18. Paul Konerko with 17, and now Hamilton with 16.
Justin Smoke, the switch hitter. We haven't seen him from this side of the plate much at all. In fact, I think this is his first time on this side of the plate in this series.
Yeah, it is.
He kind of has a little Aaron Rowan lean to him. Not quite as extreme as Rowan.
He doesn't have that wide stance. Rowan looks like he's sitting down, a la Jeff Bagwell. Yeah, Smoke not quite as not quite in the squat position as Rowan is.
Pinto walks him.
Well, the crowd letting Reniel Pinto know what they think about his performance.
Here's Trainer. Trainer 2 hits in the series. The pinch hit, of course, last night. And Pinto gets a strike. 6-3 Texas. We saw Felice up and throwing. He closed last night for the Rangers. Got to know Matt Trainer knows Pinto well enough that as a right-handed hitter, he's going to see that changeup. And he saw it. It's low. It's 2-2. Well, the bullpen has struggled tonight. The bottom line against the Texas Rangers, you're not going to win many games with last night 2 runs on 3 hits, 3 runs on 4 hits, especially if your pen isn't sharp. Trainer pulls it to third. Cantu. Ugla starts the turn. And Trainer is out at first base. But the Rangers get a run, a long run. Josh Hamilton's 16th homer. Fox Sports Florida brought to you by Marooney. South Florida, when you need a car, truck, or van, who are you going to call? 1-877-MAROONEY. By AT&T, find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By Corona, kick back, relax with an ice-cold Corona and lime. Enjoy a Corona today. By Dodge Ram Trucks, award-winning Ram trucks. Plus a new heavy duty, make it one of the most powerful lineups in Ram history. And by Grown Ups, in theaters June 25th. He has been the man tonight. Josh Hamilton, 4 hits, his 16th home run. Neftali Felice, who closed last night, is back in tonight, and he's got a 3-run cushion. 16 of 18 in save opportunities. You can see how stingy he is with the hits. Opponents hitting just 194.
Yeah, good live fastball. He'll get mid-90s, sometimes above 95. Curveball, changeup. So a couple of pretty good arms in Frankie Francisco and then Neftali Felice.
This is up to Ugla, Ross, Stanton. Ugla and Ross did not face Felice last night. Stanton did and struck out.
The last 2 nights, the bottom part of the order, starting with Dan Uggla. Uggla, Ross, Stanton, Paulino. Uggla, Ross, Stanton, Paulino tonight. The last 2 nights, that group has produced 2 base hits, and Ronnie Paulino has both of them, and one of them was a bloop single.
Uggla takes a hack at a high fastball. 2-2. That fastball missed out. Felice thought he had the corner.
Now you can see 96 with that last one.
Uggla fouls it back. Count 3-2. Second night in a row that the Marlins find themselves facing Felice. Last night they needed just 1 run, and he went 1, 2, 3 through the 9th. Tonight, a much taller order. Down 3. Uggla went after ball 4. Cody's on deck. And he strikes Uggla out.
And swung at ball 4 again. A rough night for Daniel. 3 strikeouts and chased that high fastball from Felice.
That's the Fox Tracks, but it's missing 3 pitches. That was an 8-pitch at bat, so 3 pitches disappeared. Maybe that one didn't even register on Fox Tracks. Here's Cody. And Felice just pumping fastballs right now. He's got a 3-run lead. He figures, you know what? If you hit a solo homer, bring up the next guy. Oh, and 2. $17,000 here tonight. A little over 17,000 last night.
I think it's really interesting, Rich, because you talk to managers about interleague play, and I know Joe Madden was one who mentioned it. You don't get a chance to prepare a lot as far as defenses and all that, but all night he has had, Ron Washington has had his left fielder well over near the gap, giving the Marlins the line, giving the right-handed hitters that line.
It's paid off.
Yeah. We saw Ronnie Paulino hit a line drive there.
Dan
Uggla lined out there and right to him. He hadn't had to move.
Jorge Cantu finished the 8th inning lining out in that same spot.
So managers will say it's tough to prepare because there's a lot of preparation goes into defenses and scouting, and when you see a team 3 times the entire year, it makes it a little more difficult. And even the center fielder, Julio Bourbon, in this case with Cody Ross up there, is shading Cody to the opposite field. So I don't think, with other National League teams that we see, I don't think I've seen this defensive alignment with the right-handed hitters.
Well, when you're blowing 97, 96, it's tough to pull that ball. Here comes Stanton now with 2 outs. This is a frustrating night for the Marlins. I'll tell you another reason why is they came off that series in St. Pete and played well.
Played good baseball, taking 2 out of 3 from the first place team.
And the other game they lost was a 1-run game. Two and 0. Stanton takes a strike. He goes after the 2-1 pitch. It's now 2-2. And now Feliz can really rear back and bring it. Obviously, we haven't seen the Angels, the Athletics. Seattle's out of the race, but you got to think that these Texas Rangers got a real good shot at the American League West title. Feliz strikes out Ugla, Ross, and Stanton, all with fastballs. Those are 3 pretty good fastball hitters, and Feliz just dusted them. Josh Hamilton with 4 hits, including a home run. And the Texas Rangers take the first 2 of this series. Marlins Live is next.